We the people unite.
Hi, everybody.
Good evening and welcome, everybody. You have only double A's tonight, but we have the awesome Momo with us tonight. So we're going to get
Welcome, Monique. And glad to have you.
Great,
of course.
Intellectual conversation. So sit back and relax and get your drink on because we're definitely going to have that conversation of things that people are not really talking about, like Black women dying, like spies that we have, and also what's really going on in Greenland. So to start us off, let's really talk about Greenland. I'm going to bring to the stage Mr. Malcolm Vance, and he will give us the insight on Greenland.
I can't believe that within the 3 days that I've come to Greenland to look at the security situation. By the way, this is a country that is in a state of panic, in which a week ago they were told to start stockpiling food in preparation for an American invasion. But I get here, and what's the first things that happen? I find out that in my country, the president of the United States and his regime are using the secret police to execute American citizens. And that's the only way to put it. Now in Minnesota, we have 2 American citizens have been shot to death by an organization, a state secret police, a Gestapo, that is out of control. And I don't care how you see it, whether you think that you're a law and order person, it is not law and order that a man that is standing there, you pepper spray him and other women in the face, and when they bend over, you see that he has a Second Amendment right to carry a firearm. You remove it and then summarily execute him. That's what happened here. We all saw it. You don't have to believe me. Believe your lying eyes. There are 6 different videos from 6 different angles. ICE started that engagement, and they are out of control. The first thing this regime did was lie. They lied and called him a domestic terrorist. They lied and called Renee Good a domestic terrorist. I have been hunting terrorists my entire life. These are just normal people. But you know what? I'm sure in 1770, they thought that the colonists were domestic terrorists for demanding their rights and living within their rights. We are in a point where Donald Trump is trying to push America to a revolution. And he is willing to kill and have his officers of his Gestapo, because, by the way, that is what state secret police is in German. The acronym is Gestapo. Unmasked men who have the right to kill with impunity and are rewarded for killing. And the entire system rolls around them in a protective bubble, calls them heroes for murder, and then lies to our face. This is the most corrupt administration in American history. And we have to rise up. It is time for the American public to rise up. We need to get at least 20 million people into the street for the next protest to show that the American public, 65% of you, don't believe these liars. They cannot tell the truth about anything. If Donald Trump says good morning, run to the window and check. They don't care about your rights. The First Amendment, not at all. The right of freedom of speech and the right to redress, the right of freedom of religion. They don't believe that. They're trying to impose a religion on you. The cult of Trumpism, evangelical Trumpism. Apparently, the Second Amendment does not apply to people who do not support Donald Trump. I am a collector of firearms. I have dozens of firearms. I don't carry them around. I don't feel the need that I have to. But now I'm starting to wonder, what is the purpose of their parading weapons around and like Kyle Rittenhouse and executing people and they get rewarded? But when an average American has a concealed carry weapon legal, or a black man is a person with concealed carry, and they just summarily execute them. We have 2 Americas. I wrote about this in my book, The Plot to Destroy Democracy. America is becoming what I call a constitutional dictatorship. The Constitution will apply to those who are allies of the dictator, and the rest of you will be treated like domestic terrorists. I am sick of this. I am done with this. We are going to rise up. Now, I've got this problem behind me.
I'm going to take a pause. We came in hot, but let's finish up. We came in hot tonight. Hey, I got my two roving reporters out there, Angry Army Vet, D, and also our sweet Jazzy. Hey, ladies, how's it going? So
hi, Jazzy. Hi, Angry Vet.
It's usually the triple A's, but we switch one out. One A had things to do, so we got a M, and she is mighty Mama with us. So let's all just sit down and let's talk about what you have heard. Yes, the black man spy came in and laid bricks down. What do you think?
He did. And, I still envision watching the ICE agent shoot the gentleman, shooting Alex in the back so many times. I can't believe how many times they shot him. I mean, after shooting him 4 times, in the back, you would think he was already dead. And they had to do it 6 more times. And all he was doing was helping the lady up. The differences I saw between Alex and Renee is 4 seconds. They killed Renee in 20 seconds and they killed him in 24 seconds.
But no one's talking about he was shot in his back. No one's talking about that. He was on his knees, on his, crouched down. And he pulled out that gun and just shot him in the back. That's a cowardly act. No one's talking about that.
Yeah. And she said, I'm not mad at you. Letting you know, I'm okay. I'll sit here if you want to talk about it. She didn't see the need to drive off until he showed more anger. I was like, I couldn't believe what I saw. And here he in Greenland, this gentleman, this a black man spy is in Greenland, and he's saying he couldn't believe what had happened in the United States when he went over there to help. It has gotten really crazy. And Jolly, he said 100 times today, he said the black people kept trying to tell us. He said the black people he said they're always trying to tell us. And for some reason, we don't listen.
Well, welcome, Corn Plum 80. You are absolutely correct. The U.S. was never and has never been a Christian nation.
It sure hasn't.
It's all a facade. It's a false front. They put on airs. They play the role, but they don't act the role. They don't apply it accordingly. They don't show up when they're supposed to show up. I think I was more disgusted earlier today when I saw the rally in Ohio with a Trump rally at this time, when people are dying, when white people are dying, when just people all over the world are dying. Like, come on. And you want to do a rally to do a pulse check? Everybody at that rally should be ashamed of themselves. Should be ashamed. I'm serious. They should be ashamed of themselves. You just showed who you truly are. Because there's no way I'm going to go to his rally when I could be the next person being buried. Are you not thinking, America? Wake the hell up. Let's go, Mo.
Yeah, there's about 25 to 30% of the population that is always going to rally behind him. Whatever their reasons might be. I don't know if it's just staunch racism. I don't know if it's an intellectual thing or lack of intellect. I'm not sure what it is, but there are always going to be people that are going to rally behind his message, which is hate. Some people
racism.
Yeah, some people are just fueled by that.
It is racism.
Yeah. They're just
I'd
fueled.
rather go without than to let a black person be president again, or a black female woman be president. And
Exactly.
Kamala broke it down for us, and they didn't listen.
No, no. Of course they're not going to listen to the black woman. She's hysterical, right?
Hmm.
They don't like the way she laughs.
I used to live in Ohio, and I got called the N-word more in Ohio than any place I've ever lived. And I got shot at twice while walking down the street when I lived in Ohio. I lived in Youngstown, Boardman, and Austintown. And I moved away. I moved at 17. I moved away from that state when I was 17, as soon as I could leave.
Wow. Wow.
I hear you, Jazzy. I hear you. You can't save them all. There's always going to be a tiny population. Like
Yes. Yeah. Angry vet. Her thing. I did see that that video earlier. And that's partially what we're talking about here. They're so emboldened because they think that there will be no repercussions. They've gotten away with 2 murders. 2 murders. And so they feel emboldened. And when they go up to people and threaten people like that, what they're not understanding, though, I don't think, is the resilience of the American spirit.
No, they do not understand that.
They don't get it.
And they've killed 32 in custody.
I thought it was 35.
Iowa.
Well, last I heard 32, but I could be, but it's in the 30s.
Yeah, the rally was in Iowa, not Ohio.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's still one of those.
But I'm talking about the ones that died in custody.
No, they're correcting me because
okay.
Ohio, but it was really Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless of the fact,
okay.
Yeah, like now anyway. Like really?
Okay.
Yeah.
But back to our black man spy. So, is he dropping truth or
yes,
propaganda?
Of course. No, of course he is. Of course he is. He's dropping all the truth. And I'm glad that he's saying it loud and proud, chest out.
Wait a minute, we have to focus on the chat. So, I guess Army Angry that is indicating about what happened today. Let me go back and put her comment up.
The commander, Border Patrol, the guy that got relieved.
No, this was a different guy.
This is a different one? Did you see the
just,
video of the...
It was a Border Patrol agent.
That's the commander, Border Patrol agent that said, if you raise your voice, I'll erase your voice.
Yeah, it wasn't Bovino. It was one of his agents.
Oh, okay. Another one then.
That was,
Bovino was the commander.
Yes.
Because, wait a minute, ladies, we should be pulling his name. If he wants to erase us, we should be pulling it down and finding out.
Yeah, we need his name. Mm-hmm.
We need to find out. I saw the video and I'm going to send it to Jolly. Jolly's real good at...
I love Jolly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jolly's real good at finding out who these people are.
Yeah. Okay, do that. So we can...
The other thing that bothers me... Excuse me, August. The other thing that bothers me is they want us, we're funding all of these people. That's the other part that bothers me is we're funding all of this. Trump has already got the $1.4 billion from the taxpayers and his son has gotten the money. But yet you don't want the billionaires to pay no taxes. In California, they're trying to pass a law that they'll be paying, the billionaires will pay up to 10% in taxes.
So the joke is really on us. We're paying for this BS. And
we're paying for all of this. Mm-hmm.
We're paying for them to kill us and squeeze us into a box.
That's
Wake
right.
Up, America. Wake up.
And he said, Trump said, if we get broke enough, we'll pick cotton, we'll pick fruit. He said, you'll work on them shrimp boats. He actually said this stuff.
You got another thing coming. I grow my own food before I go Pick
I'm not
something out of
going back.
somebody else's fields. No way. I ain't going back.
I ain't going back.
All right, ladies, let's go back and let's finish hearing what the Black Spy had to say.
Yes, sir.
For all the bluster, Greenland is still at risk and at threat. Power went out the other night in this city, citywide, and this city went into a panic, believing the Americans were attacking. Because guess what? That's the first thing we would do. We would shut the power off. We'd hit that power plant that's 80 kilometers away, or we'd hit the power lines and we'd make sure the city is blacked out. And then we would start landing people on the airport. That's what these people feel. They feel they can no longer trust America, even though there are individual Americans that they can trust. But they're not our allies anymore. They're not our friends. Denmark, same thing. They've pushed this country back into the arms of Denmark. Now there are hundreds of armed soldiers in this city, and they love them.
Mm-hmm.
And just to give you an idea of what they think of Donald Trump, they created a poster here that says, yes, NATO, no, pedo, and a picture of Trump with Jeffrey Epstein. I'll put that up after I'm finished. We are nearing an inflection point in modern American history. I'm going to say it again. The second American Revolution is coming. It'll be a blue revolution, a color revolution, but one that is peaceful. Whereas the opposite side, the totalitarians that are running and trying to push America into dictatorship, are going to use force. And we have to restrain ourselves, but we have to link arms and come together. Martin Luther King said, we're at that point where silence is betrayal, where silence is complicity with a dictator. Now I'm going to go back to our previously scheduled programming to figure out whether this country is going to get invaded. Because as soon as Donald Trump comes around and realizes there is no deal, he got played, you know, the risk is going to come back here. And these people are terrified Minnesota is coming to Greenland. And they should be. I will see you next week. And I'm going to be giving you interim reports in between here. And I will still be commenting on what's in America. Because I got to tell you, being out of the United States, the veil is lifted from your eyes. Every one of you has a responsibility to defend the Constitution. I'm going to be right behind you. I'll be right next to you if I'm not leading you. I will see you on the frosty beach. Stay warm.
Mm-hmm.
You heard it. You heard it. Comments.
Wow. Yeah.
So we're going to have to watch this space. Hopefully everybody took a nugget from that.
Yeah.
This is not over. He's telling us out loud. He's there on the ground, and he will be reporting, and we will definitely bring it to you when it comes.
Well, you know, you saw when one of our other Keisha, you know, left the country and came back and was so sad. And when Momo left the country and came back, you were so sad. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, this used to be a great place. Well, I don't know why I tell that lie. This ain't never been a great place for us.
No, they have conditioned us to believe that the United States is just the greatest place to be in the whole wide world.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm never going to poo-poo our democracy, right? Because there are a lot of nations out there that are not free, but neither are we right now. And there are so many different places. Like I said, I love my country, and I will fight tooth and nail for my country. But I was so at peace when I went out of the country briefly a little while ago. And the people there who are supposedly in a nation that is underprivileged, the citizenry is so happy, living their lives, universal health care, free education, free secondary education. All their needs are taken care of. And the sense of community is there. You can't even differentiate there, like who has and who has not, because they're all just intermingling together, and they just seem to be a happy community. And we could do that. The promise of America is what I fight for. Not what we actually are, but the promise of what we could be. But we have to deal with that white supremacy. We have to deal with
that's
it.
because he doesn't want any blacks or brown people here. He just wants it. What they just want it white, but it wasn't white to begin with.
No, no.
Mm-hmm.
That's the joke.
That's the joke.
You know, that's the joke. They think, but they were robbers and thieves anyway. So come on, you never owned America.
Can you imagine how bland that would be? Come on now.
I said that the other day. All of those Mexican restaurants that they go into and eat their guacamole, and you know, the Vietnamese restaurants, anything Chinese, you know, wherever they can find.
You get rid of all that spicy, and who wants to be here?
This is true. But there was this young man that was creating a piece of white America somewhere, and I can't think of his name. If you know in the chat, please help me out. And they had this little piece of land, and they only wanted whites only. This happened in 2025, 2024, and right now that land is they gone. They dispersed because they realized, like, wake the hell up. Like, wake the hell up. And Jazzy, I'm calling it out. Yes, Japan, you being an army brat, you've been around the world and back again. And when you come here, you do see a totally different ideology, just how people move. It's real awakening. And when I hear someone say, I've never been out of the country, then that means you start saving your coins and you need to go see somewhere else in the world so you can see that, like Malcolm said, the veil comes off and you really see the world from a different perspective.
Yeah, it opens your eyes for sure.
It does. With that said, let's go over to another one. This one is from Willie D. Let's see what Willie D has to take us to school tonight.
Well. It looks like Donald Trump, your president, has finally turned on Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. I ain't got no problem with that. That's the headline, fam. Yeah. Ice Barbie on thin ice with Trump and Miller over Bovino miscalculation. President Donald Trump's senior leadership team is blaming Kristi Noem for their nightmare in Minneapolis after they say her incompetence as Homeland Security Secretary paved the way for Saturday's shooting for yet another U.S. citizen. At the heart of their frustrations is Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bovino, Noem's commander-at-large, whom she chose to serve as the public face of the president's immigration blitz. Bovino had repeatedly raised eyebrows with his aggressive tactics even before members of his green machine were filmed on Saturday, throwing 37-year-old VA nurse Alex Preddy to the ground and unloading bullets into him, horrifying the U.S. public. Polls suggest voters were already weary of seeing Bovino's masked and armed federal agents marauding around the country, violently detaining people, including children, and brutalizing demonstrators. The public blowback saw Trump send his border czar, Tom Homan, to the city on Monday to oversee on-the-ground immigration enforcement operations, in a move widely seen as a snub to Homeland Security Secretary Nome. It comes after well-placed DHS sources told the Daily Beast that both the president's chief of staff, Susie Wiles, and his immigration policy lead, Stephen Miller, have fully turned against Nome and her chief advisor and rumored lover, Corey Lewandowski. According to two senior officials, Miller is furious that Bovino and his hardcore turn and burn tactics were chosen to become the focal point of the nationwide blitz. No honor among thieves, fam. That's how it goes. No honor among thieves. The woman did a press conference and just lied to the world. I mean, right there in everybody's face, just lied. We saw the video of the man get gunned down. We saw the video of ICE accost the man, push him to the ground, beat him up, take his gun away from him, and then shoot him. We saw that. It's clear. The video footage is not obstructed. It's not blurred. It's not grainy. We saw it in 4K. But she tells us, oh, he pursued the officers and he intended, well, he did this with his gun and he intended to apply maximum damage. Just straight up lying to the people, just lying straight to the people's face. How can you trust that type of administration? See, they're worried about how it looks as opposed to how it is, right? The administration is completely missing the point. It's not about how the brutality looks in the media that should be driving their decisions. They need to consider the mission in totality. They need to consider the mission in the first place. Setting an arbitrary quota for deportations guarantees abuses. Just like when you set quotas for law enforcement in the streets of America, in every city, every town. When they set those quotas, it automatically invites abuse. Setting those arbitrary quotas automatically invites abuse. They know, oh, look, I gotta get 20 tickets a day, and I'm one more ticket short, and I gotta get out of here, and I gotta go home right now. I gotta get on up out of here, man. I want to stop by this little chick house before I return the car. So let me pull somebody over. Let me give me a quick ticket right quick. Choo! Let me see. Move. That damn, I got 3 out of that one stop. You know, you're just looking for stuff, You see? Policing for profit. That's why people are always on the edge. And when you talk about policing for profit, you notice that they target areas where people are already struggling to make ends meet. They're going into the poorest neighborhoods and they're targeting people all day long, just writing tickets. It is the poor neighborhoods oftentimes in these cities, especially these metropolitan cities like the one I'm in, Houston, that drives revenue for city and state officials. It is that policing for profit. Those tickets and those court fees, that commissary, those phone calls, that internet usage, all of that, it's all money. You know, paying the lawyers to look, fam, it's one big old hustle, you ask me. I think the abusers are, as they say, a feature not a bug.
Well, let's take a pause and let's go back over to the panel and see what we're saying out here. Panel?
I agree wholeheartedly. And when he put that policing for profit, that's where they have a lot of these people detained. They know that they don't have a justified reason for locking them up. And now I'm talking about the people that are not subject to deportation. U.S. citizens, people that they don't quite know about yet. They're using those people, they're putting them through this private prison systems, leaving them in there just long enough for somebody to make some money off of them and then letting them go. It's all a grift. It's all a grift. And it's at our expense. And people need to wake up and understand that. It doesn't matter the color of your skin. This is about class. This is about who has and who has not.
They look for people driving older cars too.
Yeah.
You know, and if your windows are, you know, the newer cars where your windows are tinted, they don't stop them. I noticed that they stop all the older cars. Just like Trump went all the way to Venezuela, because I always thought, I don't know why I thought this, you know, because they always said that the United States was the richest country in the world. And I said, then why does Greenland, I mean, not Greenland, why does Venezuela have 271 millions of gallons of oil? And you went and got his president. You notice nobody even talking about him no more.
Well, and you notice how all of a sudden there aren't any drug boats being blown up, right? All of a sudden they stop, you know, they stopped transporting drugs all of a sudden. No, everything stopped, came to a halt once we got that oil.
Once we got that
Once we went in there and kidnapped Maduro. And what's there right now? Maduro's regime is still there.
The same people.
You took the man, but his ideology is still in power.
And he still got that Nobel Peace Prize.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy. I thought that was crazy. I mean, you really bent down and kissed the ring.
That woman sold her dignity and her Nobel Peace Prize for a bag of Trump merch.
Let's finish up this video because I really want to get to the death in Texas.
See, they trying to make it seem like, oh, this is something that don't happen often. No, fam, I think this is a feature of this ICE organization. That's a feature. Abuse is a feature. It ain't a bug. I expect that they were hoping either their agents would be slightly more subtle about it or that protesters would reach a breaking point.
No.
Well, the protesters have not reached the breaking point. They're still protesting. Maybe they wanted them to react violently so that they could justify the crackdown. And that, I do think, is a plausible narrative. They wanted them to act wild and be chaotic so that they could justify their need to be there. But they didn't plan on killing 2 innocent people.
Well,
they did not. Go ahead.
No, they didn't plan on killing 2 innocent people. But here's where I think that they overstepped and made their mistake. Renee Good, you know, they immediately got Fox News calling her a lesbian, right? So they othered her right away. They're finding it really, really difficult to other this man. It is a white man, law-abiding citizen, that they just murdered in the streets. And that is why we're seeing all this upheaval right now. It's not because they think that they're overstepping. It's not because they think that they're doing too much. It's because all of a sudden now it looks really bad for them, because now they've killed a white man. And so that's getting the NRA involved. That's getting people involved. Unfortunately, this has been going on forever. It's like, welcome to the party. Now that it's happening to you.
Well, they did an interview with Trump, and they asked him, were they being too violent? And he said, I don't think they being violent enough. I don't know if anybody heard that.
Oh yeah. I
don't think they need to do it even. And after that, that's when the two people got killed.
Yeah, and he got his wish, but they went a step too far. This is
and
something that
but I have to remember Keith
Porter. Let's not forget him.
Yeah, I can't forget Keith. He
was a father. He was a man who legally had his gun and shot it in the air, which was idiotic. I don't understand why people shoot guns in the air on New Year's Eve, but a lot of people do it. But that's why he was killed, for no other reason than some off-duty ICE agent thought that he was entitled to confront this man and do something to this man. And they've been emboldened by the administration. I don't care how they can put out as many videos as they want to. They can throw as many people under the bus as they want to. This comes from the top.
Mm-hmm. But they still, with Alex, and he was the one that was blowing the whistle. They don't like that whistle. I know we should be able to protest any way we want to.
I thought it was the person that was camera had the whistle. I thought Alex was just trying to save the young lady.
I thought I saw Alex with a whistle as well.
Initially, he was blowing the whistle.
That's what I thought.
Then when he saw the young woman get pushed down, he put the whistle away. He kept his phone out so that he could continue to record, but he went to try to render aid to her.
So these little details,
but they don't like that. They don't like that whistle.
Well,
they don't like us at all anyway. I don't know. It don't matter if we got a whistle. But I said I'm gonna get a baseball bat.
Well, the whistle serves a purpose. The whistle, the intention behind the whistle, yes, exactly, Andrea. It's a warning. It's to let your neighbors know that there's something going on so that people can come out and start recording. That's why they have all these incidents, so many different angles, because people hear that whistle and they come running. And I have to applaud the citizens of Minnesota. And we should follow their example. Wherever they try to bring these people, that's exactly what we should be doing. We should be coming together as a community, warning each other, helping each other out. It's the same as when they were hiding Jews in attics and things like that.
The abolitionists were letting us hide there.
Yes.
And the one thing was that I lost my train of thought, so you go ahead.
Well, I just want to bring up what Jazzy was saying. He was directing traffic initially to help them attack the two women. So as it gets pieced together, like everybody's seeing different videos, so you get a little bit more understanding. But none of us jump to conclusion and say otherwise. But it's so funny how the right just automatically have them guilty. They're insurrectionists. They're this. They're that. Not the true saying.
Yes.
I finally remember. I watched Rachel Maddow last night, and she showed Sunday where they had protests all over the country. It was so many people out. It was more people out than when we did the last King's Day parade. I was so proud of us. And again, we only need 10% of the population to come out. Actually, we need 30 million people to come out and protest against these goons. It's more of us than them.
Yeah.
That is true. Well, with
Mm.
that said, time now is 8:10 on the East Coast, and we want to get to the next story. So, Andre, you want to set it up?
Okay. And if you want to put the first page on, up if you want, or for, a
Yep.
picture or something, because I live in Texas, and Texas has some of the strictest abortion laws in the country. But what they don't tell you is, I'm sorry, I turned my phone off and they still call. That in Harris County, there are more mothers that are dying from giving birth, or it's the children that are passing from the birth. And just to read a little bit, I won't try to bore you with all of the information. By the third trimester of an already difficult pregnancy, Mariah faced two new complications: relentless headaches and dizziness. Over the previous 31 weeks, she had already collapsed 3 times and noticed blood in her urine. Symptoms escalated to such a severity, she was rushed to the hospital right in her home outside of Houston, and the doctor determined quickly that her blood pressure was dangerously high. She had preeclampsia. The doctor offered her 2 choices: deliver immediately on site, or going to another hospital where they would separate the newborn from the mother. Long story short, 4 days later, she delivered a stillborn. For Black women in Harris County, Texas, which encompasses most of Houston, the experience is heartbreaking and is familiar. Racial disparities for pregnant mothers and their fetuses have long been established, but even against the backdrop, Harris County is an outlier, home to nearly 5 million residents. 1/5 of them are Black. This county has in recent years reported maternal and infant mortality and morbidity, I can't pronounce that either sometimes, exceeded both Texas and national averages, meaning they were having more deaths of mothers or babies than the entire country. A recent study by the local public health officials found that from 2016 to 2020, the maternal mortality rate for Black women in Harris County was 83 passed out of 100,000 live births, which is the highest in the nation. The infant rate for Black children was they lost 11 or 12 out of 1,000 births. The severity of the crisis in Harris County has prompted public health officials, researchers, and advocacy groups to deepen their efforts to answer a pressing question: why are more Black pregnant mothers and their babies dying in Harris County? Experts say formulating an answer to save Black lives means examining a constellation of issues: race and the enduring legacy of bias in Texas, and equitable health care access. Because I don't know about you, when I go to the doctor sometime here, whether it's having a baby or just being seen for something else, the doctors don't always care. As of 2024, Black women are 3 times more likely to die a pregnancy-related death than white women, and more than 80% of the deaths are preventable, according to the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention. To eradicate the crisis, she said, providers and their medical systems must confront the root cause. And they said racism. It's racism. That is the root cause of what's wrong. See, they want this country to be white, and Trump said all of the blacks were coming, and black and brown people were coming from these shithole countries. He doesn't want us here. This country was never white before. They came and they stole it once, and they're trying to steal it back again. And if they have to steal it by killing black children or black mothers, that's what they're going to do. Recent research has highlighted reports from Black women who say their pregnancy-related pain and discomfort are often ignored or dismissed by physicians, reflecting a broader pattern of medical racism rooted in the history of experimentation on enslaved and reinforced in medical education and practices. Prejudice, that's something, isn't it? Even today, we got to deal with prejudice just to even have a baby. County officials pointed to higher rates of diabetes, sexually transmitted diseases, and high blood pressure as factors that disproportionately worsen health outcomes for mothers and babies in certain racial and ethnic groups. The maternal morbidity rates for Texas increased another 24%. Media Innovation Group, an experimental learning project within the School of Journalism and Media at the University of Texas of Austin. I don't know if anybody's familiar. There's a large hospital, a large group, Memorial Hermann Texas Medical Center is among 4 Harris County area hospitals that has some of the highest cases of severe maternal morbidity, upward of 100 cases per 10,000 deliveries. There are other facilities in Harris County as well. Ben Taub is a famous hospital in Houston, and Texas Children's Pavilion for Women. They recommend delivery for no later than, well, it needs to be later than 34 weeks, but a lot of women suffer from severe preeclampsia, and preeclampsia is their blood pressure is so high. I don't know when they're going to stop caring. I wanted to talk about it. I had 2 children, and I've lost 2 already that are no longer here. And I had a Black doctor that didn't care. And I didn't realize, because I was too young at the time to realize that I could have sued. But money doesn't replace people. It doesn't replace people. Yeah, we keep losing people. We keep losing children. We got to hold these doctors, these nurses. It was even on a show called Sisters. I don't know, or Sisters. I don't know if anybody watches Sisters. And one of her babies didn't make it, but that's because the doctor didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to pay attention. I don't know if we need to have midwives again, to help deliver our babies and not go to regular doctors. Make sure you get checked early though, and if you have high blood pressure, make sure you take your medicine. Even if you're not pregnant, you need to make sure you take your high blood pressure medicine. So many people die from strokes.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are diabetic, if you have, diabetes, whether it's 1 or 2, make sure you eat right.
Yeah, black women especially have to advocate for themselves. So you really need to educate yourself and know your body. I was sharing backstage with you guys my story. My second son was being born, and they were ignoring me when I told them that something did not feel right. I'd had a child previously, and I told them, this feels different. It's wrong. Something is not right. They ignored me. They ignored me until my mother ran out into the hallway and yelled and screamed about burning the place down if somebody didn't listen to her daughter. And sure enough, my son's heartbeat just went away, slowed down. I knew something was not right. And I wound up having to have an emergency C-section. But you have to advocate because of all the systemic racism that's built into the system. Like you were talking about when they used to experiment on enslaved women, they wouldn't even give them anesthesia because there was this misconception that Black women didn't feel pain in the same way. Or Black men didn't feel the pain in the same way that white people felt it. And it has gone on to this day. They call you, you're being dramatic. It can't be that bad. So you really have to learn how to advocate for yourself.
One thing I learned too is don't go to the hospital by yourself.
Yes.
I don't care what's wrong with you. Don't go by yourself.
Yeah.
They told me I needed a hysterectomy at 26. So
that's the thing. The hysterectomy. Because then what? You can't bring any more of them little Black babies into the world, right? If you have a hysterectomy. Hysterectomy is often the last resort, but it's the first thing out of somebody's mouth. Every time there's a female problem going on, they tell you a hysterectomy rather than giving you other treatments, alternative treatments. But it's built into the system. We don't want any more of them little brown or Black babies coming into this world.
Back to you, August.
No, ladies, very deep. I wanted to make sure you guys were able to. I know we had a lot of people drop off, but please make sure you like and subscribe. We need to talk about these issues. These are prominent issues that we need to put out there and let them know. I know mostly everybody want to talk about the death, and those deaths are important, but there are other things that are going on in our society that we need to talk about. And this is one of them that I really wanted us to highlight. Jazzy, thank you for sharing your experience. And we will be reaching out to you, Jazzy, one-on-one, because we need to set something up. So if you get a chance and you have any one of our email address or phone number, please give us a call.
Yeah, we'd like to hear from you and get your email address.
Okay. Angry Army Vet, you are such an angel. Thank you for joining us. We really
like your email addresses.
Your words are always positive. Your words are always uplifting. So we really, really thank you, Angry Army Vet, for joining us. I know we lost a lot of other people that was on, but these are these topics that we have to talk about. We got to make sure that we're educating one another. And the only way we can learn is by education. And how we do it, we used to sit around the fire and share words. And we're more sophisticated, but yet we still don't sit around and share words. We rather use other apparatus in order to entertain us, or try to just talk. Conversation is powerful. And that's what we're doing tonight, having that conversation. I know we're coming to the bottom of the hour, but Momo, what's on your mind?
Just, I love our platform. I love our community. And as our community grows, I love the people that Jazzy, Angry Army Vet, our ride or dies that are always there for us. Communication, conversation, that's all we have right now is each other. That's what's going to pull us up and out, are the people. It's like when you think about it, I'm watching a couple of podcasts today, but you think about the advancement of Black people. Lincoln was a racist, but politically, it was the people that told him, this is not right. This can't stand. We got to do something about it. Lyndon Johnson was a racist, but public pressure made him sign that Civil Rights Act. It's always the people that make the movement. And so we can't forget that. We can't turn our backs on each other. We have to have that community. We have to have that togetherness, because that's the only way that we're going to get anything accomplished, is if we rise together as a people and do it.
Miss Andrea, what say you?
The one thing I wanted to say, and that is funny, not funny, that, like I said, I want to reiterate that we're in Texas with some of the strictest laws for abortions, or trying to make sure that baby makes it. But yet the Black women, babies are dying, or the mother is dying, or both.
Yeah.
What I do love about life is one person can make a difference. And Alex was that one person. Renee was that one person. And Keith was that one person. And each time they made a difference. People are coming out more and more. One person. I believe our channel is going to grow. It's just we have to be patient. And still, as long as we're presenting the truth, I believe the word is going to get out.
Yeah.
Thank you, August.
No problem. I just want to round out the evening with this. We talked about health. We talked about what's going on economically. Well, let's talk about housing. And I want to leave you with this, because this rep went scorched earth and really put him to task. Let's listen.
I do too.
He is
He's
as
taking bold
clueless.
steps.
He is as clueless about what is happening with the American people
I wouldn't
as
say
he
that
is
he's
cruel.
clueless. He's not
He is as
clueless.
clueless as he. Let me move on.
He's
Reclaiming my time.
well-informed.
Reclaiming my time. There is an affordability crisis. We're living it every day. The median age for first-time home buyers is 40 years old. We're pricing out young people. And I believe your department is completely unaware of the fact that people in their twilight years who have given so much to this country, we have a gray wave of homelessness that your agency is ignoring of our elders. You talked about your football career and how you would often watch the film of your games to see what you're actually doing well. I have seen this film and you are failing. I feel bad for you. The Republicans put you in this role.
I'm not sure which film
Excuse
you're
me,
watching.
you're interrupting.
Sorry.
I'm watching the film in real time. What's happening as you gut HUD and undermine and fail to meet
We
its
haven't
mission.
gutted HUD.
I didn't ask you a question. I'm offering a statement of fact. In my opinion, you've been put in a position with no qualifications, no experience, and no training, and they are using you. They are using you as the poster child of their anti-DEI crusade, and you are letting them, and it is shameful, and it is painful for me to watch. The Department of Housing and Urban Development is too important to be mismanaged under your leadership or lack thereof.
Yeah, high five moment.
There you have it, scorched earth. Sometimes you just got to call a spade a spade.
Mhm.
And remember, all skin folk is not kin folk, okay?
Nope.
Not always in our corner. And that's the sad part, because I was taught no matter who you are, we're supposed to look out for one another. But the mighty dollar has taken on a whole new meaning to so many people. And when they get bit, they want to come running back. So I'm not going to call no names. I'm not going to say, Nicki Minaj. I'm not going to say
Stephen A. Smith.
Omarosa.
I'm going to say, it's so many of us that have lost our way. But you know what? I'm still going to love them. I'm going to love them because they're going to need us once again. And that's where it is. Don't ever spit on them or step over them. Bring them back in it and have that conversation. You got to call a spade, and you have to let them know.
Nobody has welcomed Omarosa back.
Yeah, Jazzy. He always puts a black guy because urban to him means black. So he always puts a black guy
Always
in
a black
charge
person.
of
Always.
Hood. Always.
In Hood. Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes, yes. But with that said, we are at the bottom of the hour. Time now is 8:30, and it has been a pleasure. You have heard from three of us. We hope that you were able to get a nugget today. There was this young lady that used to always say pearls of wisdom or rubies of riches. So I hope we were able to give you all of that. We want to make sure tomorrow night we are live again with the entire crew, and also on Friday. There's always the Millennium Games that's out there, but come on and sit down with us. Tomorrow will be interesting because all of us will be back again. We want to make sure to let you know time is money, money is time, and we hope that you are still able to make money, especially out here in these streets. It has been a drought. So look out for your neighbors. Make sure you're feeding people. And we say thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Have a good evening, and we'll speak with you soon.
Good night.
Good night.
We the people unite.
Yes, ma'am.
We the people unite.